All right, here we go. Steve and John.
Servicemen and National Guard all over the country, probably.
Oh, I got to take some Stokes out. Listen to this. I'll be right back. Right over here.
We've got
I'll be right
back.
back.
From the Secretary of Defense now in the last 60, 90 days saying if things get bad this summer, we'll have to call on our NATO friends to come and help us to keep the peace. Let me tell you something. Keeping the peace is a euphemism for making war on the American people. And I want to back that up with something. For a number of years, everyone will remember the Cold War. The Cold War is when, obviously, the United States was engaged in a, not only espionage, but we were engaged in a world chess match with the former Soviet Union and communist nations, Eastern Bloc, etc. How is it then, John, and maybe your listeners know this, if they don't, it's something that I've been screaming about for a decade. How is it then that the United States, its former enemies, would be hired by the Department of Homeland Security? I'm talking about Marcus Wolf, former head of the Stasi, German secret police, and Gennady Primakov, former head of the KGB, to come in 2004 as hired consultants. Remember, a year before this, they're the world's terrorists and some of the most evil men. Now they're the consultants. I can tell you from a friend of mine who's personal friends with Yevgeny Primakov, is that he was laughing. He said, you spend trillions to fight us in the Cold War. You spend millions to hire us as consultants to put your country under the controls that we all wanted to escape, even those of us who were heading up the secret police. Now, that wasn't Marcus Wolf's statement. That was Primakov's statement. And I would encourage everyone who's listening to this broadcast and get on the internet to go and literally do a search on Marcus Wolf. And it's really important. M-A-R-K-U-S-W-O-L-F-E. So how is it now that as you and I are talking on the radio, whatever today is, the 8th of May, we're seeing draconian legislation put into effect to control the American people who have been systematically raped? And by the way, all the money that's, quote, bailing out the bankers, not much of that is hitting the street, you know.
Okay, hold it. I gotta be real careful here. Let's go back for a minute to the bailout, to the TARP, and whatever other kind of flipping words they come up with to rape, pillage. And by the way, every frickin' dime they spend in printing, they want your kids to pay for. That in and of itself should be enough to make you so angry and that you ought to be marching by the millions in your local community and saying, not no, but hell no. Enough's enough, it's over with. But here's the thing. Just a little rant here. And by the way, the reason I'm on rant is I just took these steaks out of the freezer, 4 of them, okay? Listen to me. No hormones, no antibiotics, organically grass-fed beef, okay? This steak is about 3/4 of an inch thick, okay? You see it? Good fat on it, not bad fat, good fat. $2.25 a pound is what I paid for my meat. From a personal individual. I don't have to go to the grocery store. I've got my cows in my freezers. He's raising me another one that I'll pick up this September. Can you buy that for $2.50 a pound? That's wrapped and ready for the freezer, baby. And he would have delivered it, but I picked it up. Are you ready? Are you willing? Are you able? You know what? The only reason the majority of the people don't have and ain't ready, they don't want to be. Because, you know what? They've been dumbed down by fluoride. They're lazy, weak, anemic, and don't have a backbone, the men are. Not talking about the ladies. It's not your job to do it. It's the man's job. And if you're a single wife or a single woman that used to be married as wife and you're dealing with kids, God will give you the grace, and His grace is sufficient. He'll help you. He'll send a friendly neighbor, or He'll give you the wherewithal to do what you got to do. But what we got to do, what we have to do is gird up the loins of our mind, okay, and suck our guts up and get a drive in us and not a quitting spirit. We got to have a driving spirit, glory to God, to say, no matter what, I'm coming through hell and high water, and I'm coming out the other side, and I don't care who I got to get and who I got to move to make it. As a truth-believing, patriot, warrior Christian, I'm going to stand tall, and I'm going to do what I got to do. Anyway, let's move on with Steve, and I'll go put this steak back up, and I'll shut up a minute.
Wall Street is a different world
Be
than
right
Main
back.
Street, but I can tell you from contacts that I've built up over 28 years, 30 years in the precious metals business, all the money's going to Hong Kong, it's going to Beijing. Jimmy Rogers obviously has been telling everybody that, one of the smartest investment counselors. My wealthiest clients have headed over there. And so the thing that I'm saying to you is that we're at such a precipice, or on such a precipice. We are faced with the total deterioration, destruction, and takeover of the United States. I am personally furious that our fighting men and women, the veterans, would be identified by the Department of Homeland Security. By the way, remember, they're the ones that hired Marcus Wolf and Primakov to basically vilify returning veterans and all veterans as terrorists.
By the way, remember, I put that ad on there and sent it to the general and everything, and he made some stuff on it. And by the way, they can withdraw the papers all they want to. Doesn't matter if they take it back or not. Okay, we've already got it. It's already printed out. We already know what they think about us. As a matter of fact, I'm working right now, doing some tile and slate and some painting and some hardwood floor for a 46-year veteran. And it's like he said, he's an easygoing guy. He just wants to be left alone. Here's the thing. They withdraw the paper statement, but they still believe it about the veterans. My. The very service women and men that went overseas, multiple wars they fought, okay, for the freedoms of America, now your own very government, Department of Homeland Security, calls them domestic terrorists and want to use draconian laws that some boogie frickin' man terrorist is supposed to be trying to kill us all with. It was just smoke and mirrors, buddy. The very laws that they were passing while our service members were overseas fighting, and by the way, don't make near the flipping money that the stupid senators and House of Representatives do. They don't make $169,000 a year, and they don't have the props and the preps and all that, and that the stinking senators and House of Representatives get. But yet they put the uniform on and they'll go die for you and me. But yet the DHS documents say that they are terrorists. Well, I'm going to say this right now to every veteran, and they know it, and the veteran I'm working for knows it. I stand proudly right beside you as a domestic terrorist. If that's what they want to friggin' label me and you, then let them label us, but they better remember this. They ain't seen no damn terror to what's coming if they mess with us. They've underestimated the American people and the spirit of the American patriot, and they've underestimated Christians. They've called Christians as pacifists, and I understand that most of the preachers preach pacifism, but not this one. I got a warrior spirit just like David had. God teach my hands to war! Let's move on.
With Bible-believing Christians, along with constitutionalists, along with anybody who may have even a bumper sticker on your car. There's a story, I don't know if you saw today, John, but somebody, I think in Louisiana, was stopped and held for a couple hours because he had the "Don't Tread on Me" bumper sticker on his car. This is the most perilous and dangerous time.
We've flown that one over in front of our station a lot. We got a little flagpole out here donated by the community, and we've flown that flag numerous times.
God bless you guys. I mean, that's why I'm moving up there. I got to tell you, when 8,000 people moved, moved with great passion to throw themselves at the feet of Obama and Bozeman at the field house, I said, it's time to move to the Flatheads. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. So the point is that given where we're at in history now, it is so dangerous. Now, let me share this with you. Over the years, I spent a lot of time and a lot of money by anybody's standard to track down of the break the Soviet Union, I talked to weapons dealers, I talked to international brokers, I talked to spies on both sides of the Iron Curtain. I have absolutely come to the, I would say, informed opinion by the...
I got to go to another